Good evening and welcome to Beyond Tomorrow. Long before man evolved on Earth, life forms lived underwater, extracting oxygen from that nurturing fluid. To this day, human fetuses have vestigial gills, a throwback to our maritime beginnings. But as we've evolved, fresh air has become essential to our survival. Or has it? Barry Nolan investigates a dramatic breakthrough, breathing liquid.
Okay, relax now, bud. Just relax.
As the diver's helmet slowly fills with fluid, he tries to fight off the anxiety, the fear of drowning. For in a moment, he must inhale it deeply into his lungs. The promise is that a technique called liquid breathing will keep him alive.
It'll pass in a second. It's perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. We all breathe liquid for 9 months, bud. Your body will remember.
And it does. Here, it is only a movie, a scene from the abyss. And though it seems like the most far-fetched kind of science fiction, it's science fact. This laboratory mouse is totally submerged and breathing a liquid called perfluorocarbon. It's not a camera trick. The mouse could survive for hours this way with no apparent distress. It seems like it should be impossible. It seems like the mouse should drown. And of course, if the mouse were submerged in water, he would die for lack of oxygen, but not in oxygen-rich perfluorocarbon.
This is a beaker of air. This is water, and this is some of the perfluorochemical. What your lungs really need from air is the oxygen in it. Well, in 100 milliliters of air, there's about 20 milliliters of oxygen. In water, there is less than 1 milliliter of oxygen. That's why we can't breathe it. In the perfluorochemical, 50 milliliters of oxygen.
And because it is inert and does not penetrate the lining of the lung, oxygen flows out of the liquid and into the mouse's bloodstream, just as with a lungful of air. Dr. Leland Clark of Children's Hospital Medical Center in Cincinnati developed one of the first heart-lung machines. He was also the first to discover that animals could breathe a form of liquid silicone.
The experiment with a mouse breathing liquid is kind of neat because it not only shows that you can carry enough oxygen in the liquid, but that the liquid does not induce any coughing sensation. The mouse doesn't blink his eyes. It's obviously a very inert, innocuous material.
At Temple University School of Medicine, a number of investigators have been looking into the possibilities of liquid breathing. Dr. Thomas Schaefer has developed a ventilator that would gently deliver the liquid to and from the lungs.
The liquid ventilation has a large number of applications, both in environmental conditions as well as in medicine. Environmental conditions as depicted in the abyss, diving applications, the aqua space.
Already, research has shown that using liquid ventilation, it should be possible to dive to great depths and return to the surface without any of the problems associated with decompression sickness. But that's in the future. Right now, the most promising applications are in the field of medicine. If all were as it should be, their lungs would still be filled with liquid, floating in the warm amniotic fluid of the womb, untouched by air, swimming in paradise. But they were born so premature, a mechanical ventilator must breathe for them, forcing air in and out of tiny, fragile, underdeveloped lungs, sometimes causing severe damage. For them, liquid ventilation may be the breath of life.
And the baby, after all, has never breathed air until they were born, so it should be a natural experience for them.
So far, they have tried brief periods of liquid breathing in 2 preemies, babies for whom all other measures had failed. The results showed great promise.
If we find that it works for the critically ill neonate, then we could maybe use it on less critically ill neonate to prevent that infant from becoming critically ill. We suspect that it's going to be very useful.
The same liquid breathing technique could be used to aid in the preservation of rare animal species when offspring are premature. It could be used to aid lung cancer victims. It offers an array of possibilities so vast, it literally takes your breath away.
Have you ever been tempted to try it just to see what it would feel like?
Yeah, I think it is a tempting thing because it's, while drowning may be a primordial fear, the idea of swimming around in nice warm liquid filled with oxygen is probably a primordial pleasure.
Swimming in paradise.
Swimming in paradise. Fluoro paradise.
Liquid breathing is a dramatic life-saving alternative that could be used anywhere there's a lack of oxygen. Its potential is limitless. I suppose one day it could help turn yuppies into guppies.
I'm sure you were tempted to try it yourself.
Actually, no, because it's going to feel an awful lot like drowning, even though it will save your life. So I think unless you absolutely had to, you probably wouldn't want to.
Oh, you want to keep that reporter's objectivity on the story.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
Coming up, traffic jams. They'll drive you crazy unless you drive in Tokyo, where they've got a better way. And millions of women face traumatic surgery at midlife. But now there's a one-day alternative.
Beyond Tomorrow is brought to you by Swab Antiperspirant and Deodorant. Swab is so effective,
We're about to meet a man many people call the Wizard of Cincinnati. His real name is Leland Clark. And though he's not a doctor, he's been credited by a prominent surgeon as having saved more lives than anyone else on Earth. Today, this amazing inventor is the subject of a special report, American Portrait.
It was some time before I really realized that maybe I should be called an inventor. So I got satisfaction from just saying, well, I'm an inventor. You know, I'm like Thomas Edison and those other guys.
Clark is an unlikely hero. For 40 years, he's been quietly tinkering away in garages and laboratories, making medical history and saving countless lives. His obsession with inventing started as a child.
I had a small laboratory in the basement of the house, and one day we mixed equal parts of hydrogen, which we made, and chlorine, put it in a glass milk bottle. We took it out in the back of the house, wrapped all in black paper, and with a string gingerly pulled the black paper off, and it exploded. Huge cloud of hydrochloric acid.
That explosion led him to create over a dozen important new inventions. The heart-lung machine, which made open heart surgery possible. The Clark oxygen electrode, which measures blood gas and is used for pollution studies by the EPA. A device to measure the blood sugar of diabetics. An instant thermometer, which revealed that patients on operating tables were running high fevers. And recently he's come up with a liquid you can breathe, which led to his invention of artificial blood.
Mice really don't like to swim in general, so maybe scared, excited, because we're going to totally immerse him in the liquid. I think you can see he's calmed down somewhat. And so he is surviving now by breathing fluorocarbon liquid in and out of his lungs and extracting the oxygen from the fluorocarbon liquid. You can tell if they've run out of oxygen easily because their eyes are normally pink if they have oxygen, or reddish, and so is their nose. And you can see he stays quite pink. All back to normal.
I thought Lee was such a real nerd because he was always studying and didn't go out with girls or anything. You know, it's interesting. It gets very boring. You just have to pretty much accept his experiments going on everywhere in the house, on the kitchen table and in the sinks. And
Lot number 686.
Even though he has no formal medical training, Leland Clark has been given the title of Professor of Pediatric Research at the University of Cincinnati Medical School. With all his honors, Leland Clark has sustained the curiosity of his youth. At age 71, he's eager for his next challenge.
Maybe even understanding cancer can turn out to be a very simple thing. And I think that I'm going to try to do more experimental work in cancer.